In this lesson, I will explain the future perfect tense of the Latin verb, the indicative active regular tense of the Latin verb. Here is the usual table, and I'm assuming that you are watching this lesson after having seen my lesson on the pluperfect tense. I will repeat that simply looking at this table should give you a perfectly good indication of how to recognize and how to form the future perfect. But for the avoidance of doubt, I will continue. Here is how you form it. Here is how you recognize it. You take the perfect stem, however that may be formed, and I refer you to the comments I made in my lesson on the pluperfect tense, that the formation of the perfect stem varies across the table of paradigms or conjugations that I normally give. And to this, you add, with one exception, the future tense of sum. And this gives you amavero, I shall have loved. Not a common tense in Latin, but an occasionally useful one. Let us go through the formation. Amav, the perfect stem. Amavero, I shall have loved. From here, we proceed to the usual listing of persons. And here is the perfect stem amav, to which we add the ending ero, amavero. Amaveris, amaveret, amaverimus, amaveritis, amaverint. Here we have a variation. If you look at the future tense of sum, you will see that there is a perfect match in the first 5 parts of the verb, and then in the they part of the verb, amaverint, you have a variation from erunt. I don't know the reason for this variation. We could say that amaverint is used instead of emaverunt. Otherwise, it might perhaps have been possible to confuse the future perfect with the ordinary perfect, amaverunt. However, although the words look the same on the page, bear in mind that most speakers of Latin were illiterate, and they would have heard a very strong difference between amaverunt and amaverunt. But although I'm unable to explain the reason for this variation, I will say that it exists and it is to be taken into account. From this, let us move to the monotype verbs. Monu, monuero, same as with amotype verbs. There it is. No difference, an absolutely regular formation. Rex, rexero, again absolutely regular, no variation across any of those 3 groups. Turning to kep, kepero, no variation here, a completely regular formation, once of course you take into account the differing ways of forming the perfect stem. Audive, audivero, again, a perfectly regular formation across all 5 of those paradigms or conjugations or groups, call them what you will. And so here is the future perfect tense in Latin. And as ever in closing, I will thank you for having watched this lesson.